I had to look in the rules for the things. See, I rely on my friends to remember some of these rules, but first one is ending the game. I wanted to get that clarified because I knew we're getting close to ending the game. I know what triggers the end game, but here's where it differs. If you buy the 8 train in the first operating round of this 2, so you know how there's 2 operating rounds here, right? If you buy it in the first one, what you do is you finish both operating rounds, operating round 1, operating round 2. You do a stock round, and then you do what's called a double round. Okay, the double round, there's no track laying allowed. You're just basically running your revenues twice. So whatever your revenues are going to be, you get to figure out what your train routes are going to generate, and you just double it. So you pretend like you just took 2 turns in a row. Okay, no track laying, no train buying, no shenanigans. You just get to run twice. So if we buy an 8 train during operating round 1, we finish we finish everything. We do one more stock round, and then we do just this magical double round. Okay. Now, if we buy it during operating round 2, we still finish the operating round. We still do a stock round, and then what it says is we do one more operating round, regular, and then we do a double round. So no matter what, you're always doing 3 operating rounds after whatever round the 8 train is purchased. So it's always the same. It just depends on whether you bought it in operating round 1 or 2. And no matter what, you're always going to have that magical double round. Okay. And then I actually am really glad I looked up this rule because I don't use it very often. And we made a mistake. So I want to clarify that. And that's generating revenue for our nationals. Remember I told you that if... So I said that Austria-Hungary wasn't that great. I'm changing my mind. I actually think it might be amazing now. And so is Italy, and so is the Norway for government trains. And here's why. Remember, we generated 10... One of these companies, I think it was Italy, had more trains or more... No, we did, SB. So our own company had... I think it was a 10 plus 10, and there's only 9 total cities in Austria-Hungary, right? We connected to all 9, and then we had one bonus city. And I said, the bonus city is just the maximum, and so we added another $40. I had it all absolutely correct except for one important thing. And let me find that here. So it's under calculating national revenue. It says, any remaining capacities may be counted at $60 for each city and $10 for each town. And that's it. So $60 is the maximum amount for a gray town, okay? So I had the rule mostly right. I knew it was the maximum amount for a city, except it's the maximum amount for a gray city. So even though we're not at the gray technology level yet, we still get a $60 for it. So if you're a government company and you can get more trains than the actual number of cities that you're connected to, you actually get $60 even if we're not in the gray tech level yet. That's like a Y city value, even though we're only in the brown cities. If you can somehow do that even during the green cities, you can make more. I don't know if it's possible, but with a 3 plus 3 and you're allowed to own 4 trains, right? So that's a 12 plus 12 if you could somehow pull that off. There's only 9 cities in Austria-Hungary, so you could actually get 3 cities at $60. I mean, that's the amount that London and them are at. So your government can make amazing money. So technically speaking, SB made $20 more. So that would be just $2 a share. I mean, I'm not going to write home and complain about it, but I'm going to grab $10 and give it to us. And so let's go ahead and start this round. De Gaulle's first. Here's our first player token. I think they call it the priority token in this game. And De Gaulle's situation is he can afford to buy one more share of RCP and Bell, and of course that's what he wants to do. RCP and Bell are both sitting at $200 a share. Let me make sure. Yes, they are. So, well, actually, no, yeah, they're the ones that are at $200 a share. Okay, so he's going to pay $200 and buy a share of his own stock. So he's going to buy a share of RCP. For 200. So now he's up to 6. So then it comes to us, and we've maxed out all of our shares. We could buy SB for double. There's a temptation to do that just because our government company gets to make all that extra gangbuster money. However, our SB shares are actually one of the worst valued ones on the stock market. And so let's be smart about this. There is an MZA out there. There's an MZA out there. There are MKV out there. There's KVS available, but they're ours, so we can't buy our own shares. There's Chin available, and there's Plum available. So those are all high value stocks that are worth more than SB, and we don't have to pay double to get them. So they are all valued at $280. And so what we're going to do is we're going to spend $280 to the bank. We're going to spend $280 to the bank, and we're going to buy an MKV, which is a government company. MZA is also a government company. KBS is ours, so we can't buy that. Those are all government companies in that stack. So that's what's crazy about it. So it's just which government company are we going to buy first? So we're going to buy MKV, I think, because that's the Russian one, and I think MKV is going to do very well. We do have 3 shares of MZA. We could buy the 4th, but I think we're going to buy MKV first. So we'll do our count later. I think we're getting close to our 29. Medici is close to his 29. So let's see here. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 out of 29. He can buy 3 more. His MAV is available. And it's not the best stock in the world, but I think he's poised to make good money with MAV. And that's the weird thing about this situation. So he can buy MAV, or he can buy those government companies, which are really high valued. MAV is actually the same value as our SB. And remember, we didn't buy an SB. But in our case, we would have to pay double to get a share of SB. He does not have to pay double. He can buy 2 more shares. I think he's going to do it because MAV is his only private company, and it's $180 for a share. So he's going to spend $150, $75, $80, and he gets to choose. He can buy it from the marketplace, but he's going to instead give it to his company. Why not give it to your company? And in doing so, the company gets an insurge of cash, and then he gets a share. Okay? And I'm going to keep forgetting their counts. So I'm going to have to keep counting their shares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. He is way behind. Oh, 19, 20, 21. Okay. Whew, that's better. So we're at 21. And in fact, what I'm going to do is let's grab some dice. Got a whole bunch of 8-sided and 12-sided dice here. I'm just going to take a bunch of these and put them in my pocket. So we said 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 27, right? So he's at 27. So I'm going to take out a die, a 10-sided die, and we're going to put this at 7. He needs to get to 9, and then he's done. Okay, so he's at 7. And by the way, these 2 companies are going to close. There's no way he's going to keep those open. These count towards his cert limit, so if he wants to get to 29 shares, he has to close both those companies. So that means no more pay the weenies for him. Okay, so this one we said was at 21. So gonna just grab a die and set it at 1. And of course he's gonna buy a share right now. He's bought the maximum amount for all of his companies. BHB, he's actually thinking he should sell a few, but so he gets to go buy stuff. And right now, the maximum, all the companies that are left, the highest value company that's available, that's not a government, which means it has the most potential to make money, is KBS. So he is going to buy a share of KBS. And trust me, that is the right thing to do. They're better than government companies at this stage of the game. And maybe earlier they weren't, but now they are. It's 280. So 200, 50, 75, 80. And I realize I'm going out of order. Russia goes first. But that is what his decision is going to be. So we're going to do 280 to get a share of KBS. I'll just put the money on the board there. And then coming over to Troikovsky here, he has a tough choice. Does he buy another share of this WW stock? And he's thinking no. So let's count his shares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. He's at 20. So we got to move this to 22 for him. And so at 20, we're going to use a D20 here and just put him on 10, and I'm going to change it to an 11 because we're going to buy a share for him. And I think he's going to buy a KBS as well because that's the trend, right? You want to buy the non-government one first. They have the potential to make the most money. So we have another 280 going to KBS. And now we're going to go to De Gaulle again. And De Gaulle knows about the KBS situation. And maybe, he really should get in on that action. But he's going to buy his own share. And this isn't uncommon to see a player do this. Sometimes you'll see them get in on the action, and sometimes you'll see them just stay focused on themselves. So De Gaulle has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20. So he's exactly at 20. And yeah, we don't even, so I'm just going to put a 0 there. Okay. So now we got to take all this money, and this money all belongs to KBS. So KBS just got a nice influx of money. And of course, 1 share for Troikovsky and 1 share for Wellington. So I'm just going to set those aside. And we're 1 share away, there's only 1 share left. So KBS is in great shape. It will sell out by the end of this round. So now it gets back to us, and we're going to be doing the similar thing. So we're going to spend 250, 75, 80. And we're going to buy a share of MKV again. Okay, so we got to count our stuff. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 for us. And that's after buying this share. So Medici was definitely way ahead of all of us. So we're at 24 shares after this turn. And we're going to be probably closing our companies. I think for sure we're buying 5 more shares. Okay, so we get to Medici. So he's going to go from 7 to 8. He knows he can buy 1 more share of MMAV. But he also knows that KBS is worth a lot. So he's going to buy 2, 50, 75, 80. He's buying the last share of Kibbles and Bits. So we're going to put that money out like that. And he can buy 1 more share, and his last share will be MAV. But there's no rush. He's smarter than De Gaulle. He's going to buy the other shares while they're available. So we get back to here, And we're going to take our kibbles and bits. And that was a great investment, by the way. Not to say just because it's our company, but it really was the right choice. There's still a whole lot available. So looking at the board, there's only one share of MAV left. And then, of course, there's a lot of MKV. The one share of MAV is a good investment because if MAV gets sold out, it automatically bumps. But I think everybody knows that Medici's winning, and so they don't want to help him. The other thing is I'm buying a bunch of MKV, but he wants his stock to go up. He's all about value, so 250, 75, 80 is going to the bank. So bear with me while I get all this money put away. And he's going to buy that last share of MAV, or MZA, I mean. So MZA is being purchased, and so he goes up to 23. He still has a lot of shares he can purchase. I keep going out of order. I apologize. Troikovsky goes first. So he had a chance to buy MAV. He probably would have, to be honest. So we're going to give MAV to Troikovsky for 250, 75, 80. He definitely would have bought MAV. He can't buy MKV because that's his own company. And the DeGaulle companies, they are government companies and they're highly valued, but everybody knows DeGaulle stinks at this game. So nobody wants to buy those shares yet. So he's already spent the money, but what he's going to buy instead is he'll buy the MKV. So that's done. And there's only one MKV left. And we will buy that. And it's our turn. So, or no, I'm sorry, it's DeGaulle's turn. And DeGaulle might buy that. Because he actually has purchased everything there is to purchase. So yes, 200, 50, 75, 80. He's buying a share of MKV. And so when we do an MKV run, it's going to be a nightmare for me to do this video because we're going to have to pay 30 different players their stock. So it's not so bad when everybody's managing their own stuff. So now it gets to us. So MKB's gone, and we're looking at, oh, this goes to 1. And his goes to 12. He's at 22. Can't forget to do that. Okay, so it gets to us, and I think so here's the thing, the next lesson about this game is notice that all the best value stocks are sold out. We still have 2 left here. We have Chin and Plum at the highest value possible. And then, of course, there's 2 more governments, and then you're getting into these lower ones. So these lower ones actually are still valuable because look at how many of them are being sold out. So don't think that I need to just sell all my lower value stocks. If you do, like I remember how I told you, when a player tries to sell someone else's stocks, I keep saying, well, then what else are you going to buy? And that's the situation you're going to see is all those stacks of high-value chips are sold out. So if somebody sells 3 shares of MZA, guess what's going to happen? These other players are going to buy them because MZA is worth a lot, even if it goes down 3 notches. So anyways, back to this. It's our choice. Plum and Chin are the 2 that are highest value. At this point, what we would do is we would buy one that has not yet done an OE run, right? And in fact, you would buy that earlier in the game. You want to buy stocks that have not done an OE run because then they bump up 3 more. Every company in this game has done an OE except for WW, and WW is a government. It can't do an OE. So there's no value there. BHB is a cheap stock, but and it actually has a 4D, so it's going to do fantastic, but we're going to skip that. I think we're going to go for pure value, even though the government companies aren't going to do as well, and we're going to buy a Chin. So the Chin is 280. We just want value in our stocks. So So we're going to buy a chin for 280, 250, 60, 70, 80. And I might have to break my big bills there, which is fine. We can do it. They gave us a lot of bling, made Mr. Wellington jealous. But that's what we're going to do. And in doing so, we go up to 5. So we have 4 more shares we can buy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, 25. Okay. So going back to Medici, he can only buy 1 more share. So he's happy buying the last MAV because MAV for 180 that will help Mav out, and Mav is his company, and so he's going to get a better return for his runs. Mav has 2 good trains. Everything's good about Mav. And so Medici's flinging his nose at everybody because he hit his max cert limit, and he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I dropped one on the floor. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's $2,000 he's going to hand into the bank just to show off his triumphant victory. And even though we have $2,000, we haven't bought all of our shares yet. So if you were wondering who's winning the game, wonder no more. Medici right now is winning the game. However, Medici has a lot of government companies, and we don't. So we might catch Medici because our trains are going to be doing better than his performance-wise. But he bought shares of our stuff, so he's going to make money off of us. But right now, Medici's doing fantastic. And he hit his cap limit, and then he would proudly say, I'm on auto pass. And then he would go make dinner while the rest of us are busy playing, or order a pizza, or whatever he's going to do. So we're going to come back over, and now we're going to do Troikovsky here. And Troikovsky's still sitting on a mountain of cash, and he has a lot of shares to buy. So we're going to go up to 13. Yep. So we go up to 13 with Troikovsky, and 250, 75, 80. Everybody's just going to keep joining in on the 280 train. And Plum and Chin are both worth the same amount. So he's going to buy a Plum. Okay, so we're going to put Plum shares like so. Up there like that. So now we get to Wellington, and he's got the same boat. So 250, 75, 80. So you might be thinking, well, you have to break the bank in order for the game to end. This is why the bank never breaks. I mean, look at all this cash going back into the bank during this round. So even when you think the bank's going to break, it doesn't. Okay, so he's up to 24. So now we go to De Gaulle. Oh, got to buy his share. So he's going to buy, I mean, it's Plum or Chin. I don't even know which. I mean, I bought Chin with my own money. So let's do, we did Plum with Troikovsky. We'll do Plum. Yeah. So he's going to do a share of Plum, and he's running out of spots to put shares, but he can put it here because there's no more MSP to buy. Okay, going around to De Gaulle. De Gaulle's got a weird situation. Plum and Chin are the 2 most valuable stocks available in the game, and he can't buy either of them. He can actually. He can pay trip or double. And so if he's willing to pay double, he can buy a share of Chin or Plum. I don't know if that's a smart move. Bear with me. I think I forgot to increase his die. So this is why I put the die here so I wouldn't have to do this, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, we did it. Sorry. Okay, getting over to here. Plum and Chin are the two most valuable in the game. He can't buy them unless he's willing to pay double. He's only at 21 shares. So he needs to buy 7 more shares. And if he starts paying double for Plum and Chin, I guarantee you he's not going to get to his cert limit of 29. It's probably not a smart move. Even if Plum and Chin do fantastic and make him lots of money, I'm still not sure it's a smart move. Also, people are buying Plum and Chin, so he doesn't have to worry about that. So the next highest available are the Italian companies, SFR, SFAI, or he can do Lizard, which is actually not a... so SFR and SFAI are worth 250, but then Lizard's worth 200. So remember, DeGaulle doesn't have a lot of money, and he knows if he just goes after the 250 stocks, those are government companies, they'll make him steady cash, but he's not going to win the game. So he's going to bank on the fact that Lizard is going to do well. So he's going to pay $200 for a Lizard share. And Lizard is still its own company, and we got to come over here and take a share from Lizard. So where did the shares go? Here's Lizard. Where's all of his shares? Oh, he sold them to the market. That's why. And this KBS, I'm assuming, that's right, it was purchased by Tchaikovsky, so we got to give that to him as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 23. Yep, 23. Okay, so I forgot. So I'm going to put this money there, and it's actually in the market. So I didn't need to walk all the way around the table. Lizard sold its own shares to the market, so it doesn't actually make any money when it's his turn. So, share of Lizard. And be very, very careful because those purples match. And you'll see players put Lizard shares in with Plum all the time. Okay, so it gets to us. We were buying MKV and we were buying Chin, so we're going to put in a $500. So we said it was 280. So I'm going to take 20 bucks back. So that's 300. 400, 500, so 220 bucks comes back to us. And we're going to buy another share of Chin. And that puts us to 26. And it puts DeGaulle to 22. Wherever the 2 is. Done. Medici's passing. So then we get to Tchaikovsky. Tchaikovsky is going to buy a share of Plum for 280. So I'm just going to hand the Plum to him. And then the other Plum, the last Plum, is going to Wellington. So we're going to just grab those shares while we're over here. And then just take $280 from each of them. So I'm just going to take, so 250, 60, 70, 80 from Tchaikovsky. And he goes up to 14. Okay. Then we're going to just take 300 from Wellington and give him 20 back. And he goes up to 5. Okay. So we get to DeGaulle. And what did DeGaulle buy? He bought a Lizard. So it makes sense for him to continue that trend. So he's going to pay $200. And we were going to give that $200 to Lizard. That's the reason why we walked all the way over to his spot. But really that $200 goes to the bank. And get a share of Lizard for him. And he goes to 3. If I can find it. And then we go here. Oh, we're buying the last chin for sure. So 200, 25, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So we're going to get a lot of 10s back into the bank here. And we're going to buy a chin. And then we are up to 7. We're 2 away. Medici passes. He's laughing because we're going to have to break our 1,000. He has 2 1,000 sitting there, and he's done. So if you're looking at overall cash, he has more. Now, I would argue that we have more value in our stocks than he does. So just because he has more cash doesn't mean he's definitely winning, but he is in great shape. Let's put it that way. So what's Tchaikovsky and what's his name, Wellington, going to do? We now have purchased everything from this stack except for chin. And there is 1 chin left, and one of them probably should take it. I was buying all the chin. From a video perspective, I wish I could just have the last chin. So that way I'm just paying me and somebody else on chin's turn, and it's going to suck that I have to go around the table to pay everybody. But the right thing to do is to give chin to whoever buys it, and it would be Tchaikovsky. So Tchaikovsky will get the last chin for 280. And I almost had a disaster with my tokens here. So we're going to just put that here, and that'll be 280 for him. So let's go around and take 280 from him. I think you're noticing that everybody at least has enough money to buy all these shares, which is good. So we're going to spend 300 bucks. And take 20. So he bought the last chin. And let's not forget to move him up to 15. Okay, so now we get to Wellington. What we have left are the Italian companies. There's Lizard, right, which De Gaulle's been buying Lizard. And then underneath the Lizard stack is actually Bell and RCP, which are privates held by De Gaulle. And they're not doing all that bad anymore. And then, of course, tailing the rear is MAV and SB, which probably will never get purchased. So at this point, Wellington is always about value. You know that, I know that. So he's going to buy SFR or SFAI. And so then what he does is he looks at the trains. He sees that SFAI has a 5 and a 4, and SFR has a 5 and a 2 3s. So SFAI is going to make more money. So he's going to buy SFAI first. So SFAI is at $250. So we're going to grab a share of SFAI. Again, SFAI and MKB can get confused. So one thing you can do is just move these over like this. And then the die is going to go to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I knew the die moved. So he's up to 6. Okay. And we said that was $250. So we're going to do that right now. So I just took $50 in 10s and 200 and paid for that share. Okay, so now let's move to De Gaulle. De Gaulle's going to buy that last share of Lizard for 200. So let's grab it while we're here. Okay, so he buys that last share of Blizzard for 200. And we'll get this into the bank here. And let's not forget to move him up to 4. Okay, now it gets to us. Chin is gone, and we have the same debate. You know, what do we do? You got Lizard, you got RCP, you got Bell, and then you got the Medici companies. We can buy 2 more shares of something. And this is where I'm actually going to do the rule I was explaining to you. I don't want to help Medici's stuff to sell out. So I'm going to buy a share of SB. So in doing so, I'm going to pay double. And so SB is 180, so I have to pay 360. So I'm going to take change for 1,000. And 360, 370, 395, 70, 85, 95, 400, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So taking a big stack of change. And what we're going to do, this may be the stupidest choice ever, but we're going to get another share of SB. Okay, I had to pay double. And we now have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shares of it. Here's my problem with this strategy, and I'm realizing this is a perfect strategy to do if I can get SB to sell out completely. The problem with SB selling out completely is I can only buy 1 more share, and then there's going to be 2 shares left in the bank. If those 2 shares that were left in the bank were to be purchased, then I would be in great shape. And so this is where you might see me try to dick over Medici. And I'm going to show you in a second how I do that. And this, to me, is the proper way to dick people over, not the improper one. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm probably going to sell my 3 shares of MZA. And remember, I said, well, what on earth are you going to buy? Well, I'm going to buy SB. That's what I'm going to buy. Okay? Now, the thing is I'm going to lose a lot of cash. I'm spending a lot of cash to pay double price for a stock that's not worth a lot. But what I'm going to do is when this company runs, I'm going to make all that cash for myself. It's going to go 100% into my bank. And so the logic is that there's going to be enough turns left in this game that I'm going to make back the cash. This may not work. In fact, I'm doing the very thing that I told you that other players do, and I think it's dumb. But I'm thinking of doing it because what I'm doing is I'm doing it so I can have 100% of my shares. Now, when I own 100% of my shares, I'm going to get an automatic bump in my stock. So SB is going to move up automatically 1 blip on the stock board, and that alone is going to make all of these shares worth more money. So now, granted, I paid double for them, but it is going to eat up. So like, yeah, I spent this much money investment, and I'm already getting some of this in return, is what I'm trying to say. And the more shares that you own, obviously, when you move up 1 spot on the track, so right here, it's going to go up $20 when it moves up. That doesn't sound like much, but that's $20 times 8 shares of stock. So now I just made $160 just from going up 1 spot. Look, this is where I told you the game's tactical. Even if there's times I tell you this is a stupid move, there's times when that stupid move is actually not so stupid. I'm thinking this is one of them. I don't know. And here's my other thing. DSJ and KBS are high value stocks. MKV is high value. Chin is high value. Lawnmower is high value. I feel like our stocks have really good value. I am getting rid of some high value stocks to do this stunt. But I'm going to do it so I can get my other stocks to go up in value. So let's find out if that pays off. And also, I am going to hurt him because he's going to drop 3 notches. It does actually hurt someone to sell their shares. The thing I've always said is you have to have a plan. What are you going to do now? In my case, I have a plan. So we're going to move on. Medici is passing. Then we get to Tchaikovsky. And he sees what I'm doing, and he's asking me, what's going on and blah, blah, blah. And he's looking at the SFR, SFAI situation, and he's wondering maybe he should buy SB, and then that would actually save me from having to sell shares of MAV. So this is really hard when you're playing all sides. There are actual players in this game that would do that. They would do it because they know Medici's winning, and they don't want to buy more shares of Medici's stock. And so they would buy shares of my stock to support me and not Medici, and I would actually get all my SB shares sold out without even having to sell my MZAs. That actually happens in real life games, and it's really hard in this situation to know what would happen. What would Tchaikovsky do? Tchaikovsky is a Russian company. He's all about Russia. Wellington's all about value. Wellington would not join us on this stupid adventure. He would buy Medici stock because Medici stock is worth the most. So from an AI perspective, I can role-play Wellington pretty well. De Gaulle, on the other hand, he is about making money, and so he wants to buy companies that are not government. And so that's his strategy of catching up in this game, is he wants to buy the non-government companies. So he won't buy SB either. So again, role-playing De Gaulle is easy. Tchaikovsky, on the other hand, is not easy. And that's the part where he could actually join us. But what Tchaikovsky is also realizing is if nobody buys... So let's see. Tchaikovsky has not bought any of the Italian shares yet. Wellington has. So he's analyzing the board, and this is a tough choice for him. He has plenty of spots to buy more shares. He's going to be buying a lot more shares, in fact. He gets to buy 4 more. So if he buys 4 more, he could buy all 4 of SFAI. Actually, there's only 3 of those. And there's 3 SFR. I think for now, this is a tough choice. Between him and Wellington, all the Italian stocks are going to sell out. That is a guarantee. RCP and Bell are both companies that are private companies, so their shares are still over here. So Tchaikovsky could make money off of them, but they're probably not going to sell out, and that's his issue. I mean, you're looking at a 6 plus 6 and a 6 and a 5. I mean, they're sold out really well. He gets to buy 4 more shares. RCP has exactly 4 shares. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to just buy RCP for 200. And that goes to the RCP company. And then he's going to get a share of RCP. So he's not going to join us in our adventure. He's going to just pave his own path. Tchaikovsky realizes he's losing as well. So if he goes the government route and just goes safe, high-value stocks, government companies, yes, he'll make money, but he's not going to make more money than the rest of us. That's the thing. Governments pay out well, but everybody's investing in governments, so we're all getting paid well, okay? So if you want to catch somebody in a game, you have to do something that nobody else is doing. And so what he's doing is he's going to invest in RCP. That's how he's going to try to gain ground. It could lose him ground, and that's the thing, but he's already losing the game anyways, so what's the harm? Okay, so by doing that, he moves up to 16. So he can still buy 3 more shares. Wellington is going to go up to 7 here, so he'll be able to buy 2 more shares after this. And his choice is easy. He is all over value. So he's going to spend $300, get $50 back, and he's going to buy the share of SFAI. So easy choice for him. And he's going to be able to sell out SFAI, so it will get a bump, which is also part of his strategy. So our strategy is going to continue, and selling those shares of MZA is going to cause an uproar. But let's continue on. And I think we said it was 360. That's a high amount for a stock. Even the highest value stock right now is not worth 360. So I'm going to pay $400. This might be a stupid move, the more I think about it. But let's play it out. I mean, who cares? Like, we're gonna see what happens here. And then if I lose, you guys can tell me that my SB strategy was stupid. And we can blame it on that. So now we got a share of SB, and you can see we're getting really high ownership levels of SB. Now, the players in the game are not stupid. If you're playing against real people, they're gonna know that there's 2 shares of SB left, and I've been paying double for them, and I'm at my cap limit. So they know I'm selling something. It's a given, because you don't do this if you're not gonna own all of your shares. To leave it at 2 shares on the table like that after paying double for my shares is not a smart choice, because I just paid double for shares and I'm not doing anything to make my shares go up in value. So Medici is looking at me, and his eyebrows are raised, and in his Italian he says, "You make my heart to go boom, ticky boom." And so, what a mistake to make. That's what he's saying to me. And anyways, he knows I'm probably going to sell his because I want to screw him over. But there's nothing he can do right now, so he's passing. And then we get to Tchaikovsky again, and Tchaikovsky is going to do the RCP strategy. So 2 more 100, the RCP, and then he goes up to 17 on the die. If we could ever find it, there it is. Okay, and then Wellington is 1 away from being at his limit, and he will pay $250. For SFAI. Then we go to De Gaulle, and De Gaulle's strategy. What was his strategy? Oh, he was buying Lizard, but Lizard's all sold out now. Did I skip De Gaulle last time? I may have. I think I did. So, well, I mean, we'll just make him go twice. De Gaulle wants to run companies, right, that make money. And so his first share he would buy, I mean, this is all he has left. He can't buy his own companies. RCP and Bell are out. So he can only buy the Italian companies, SFR, which are government. He can buy our SB, which is also a government, and he knows that. Or he can buy MAV, which is not a government, and is reasonably priced. And then here's what's crazy. He could also buy BHB, which in some insane way is actually going to make good money. But BHB didn't take the 3-stock bump, so it's never going to catch up to the rest of the stocks very well. Looking at his money, he has to buy, including this share, he has to buy 5 shares. He actually is very low on cash. He does have a 500 over here. So I think he's going to be able to afford 5 shares, but he may actually have to buy lower cost shares. Like, can he buy 5 shares at $250, for example? So that would be, what, 250. He's got 500, 6, 7, 8, 9,000, 250. He has exactly that much. So if he bought 5 shares at $250, he would be basically at $0. Here's the thing. De Gaulle can buy our SB and spare us from selling those shares. The other thing is if we sell those shares, he can swoop in and buy those, which are going to be higher value stock. But the thing is he doesn't have the money to buy higher value stock. But I think to stick with his strategy, he wants to buy either MAV or BHB. And looking at the two, BHB is actually poised to make a lot of money. So he's going to go really radical, and he's going to buy BHB for 120. And so for $120, this is going to go into BHB's pool, and I'm actually going to just take another $120 because he's buying 2 shares because we skipped him last time. So we come over to BHB, who at one point in this game had no money, and we thought, okay, no one's going to buy his shares, and now DeGaull's buying a whole bunch. And what DeGaull's strategy is he thinks that BHB is going to make a lot of cash. That's what he's banking on with that 4D and that 6+6. So he buys 2 shares of BHB, and they are reasonably priced shares. So since he's low on cash himself, he can buy a bargain bin stock that's going to make a lot of cash for him at the end of the game. That's the idea. It's not a very smart move to buy BHB, because at the end of the game, BHB is going to be worth way less. But if DeGaull's low on cash to begin with, this is a good move for him because it'll allow him to get a lot of cash. He didn't have a lot of money in the first place. Anyways, back to this. I think this money that's sitting on the board was for kibbles and bits. So let me grab that. It's funny, I put that money on the board thinking I would know exactly what it's for, and now I don't remember. Okay, so it gets to us, and it's forcing us to sell shares. I was always rationalizing, well, maybe they would buy SB, but I'm going to take the chance that they're not, because you know what? I'm also winning the game from a lot of other players' perspective, and they don't want to help me either. So I need to buy 2 shares of SB. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sell 2 shares of MZA. If I sell 3 shares of MZA, I run into that situation of what on earth am I going to do? I mean, I'm selling a share, but then I got to buy one, and I don't like what's out there. So I'm going to sell 2 shares of MZA, and it is worth $280. And so MZA is going to drop 2 spots to $225. So everybody at the table is going, woo! That's exactly how your game's going to go. They will do that. So 280 times 2, I just made $560, and then I'm going to subtract the 360 for the SB. So I'm going to take $200 from the bank. And when you sell a share like I just did, you get to buy at the same time. So I sold 2 shares to buy 1. So I bought this SB, and I am now up to 9 shares of SB. And my die drops to 8. And his die goes to 6. All right, so Medici's looking at the situation, and he realizes his MZAs are on the board, and they're not going to go up in value. So is he going to sell some of his shares to buy an MZA? And he can. And in fact, he can sell our DSJ shares to screw us the same way. I can tell you right now, if he sells those DSJ shares, somebody's going to buy my DSJ. But that's going through his mind, and any player's mind should go through that. So let's go around and see what he's going to do. His GWR stock is amazing. His lawnmower stock is great, and the DSJ stock is great. He can't buy any MZA unless he pays double price. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he would have to pay double price. And so there's nothing he can do. He can just smile and move on and say, what a mistake you make. Okay, so we move on to Troikovsky. Now, Troikovsky was buying RCP. What was he doing? Yeah, he was buying RCP. And Troikovsky is at 17. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 18, 19, 20, 22, 3, 4, 25, 26, 27. So he's going to go to 28, which is one away from being able to be done. And unfortunately for him, he wants one of those to be RCP. Actually, no, there's 2 RCP left. He wants RCP to go up in value, and he needs to buy both of these because he's sort of committed to it. And if he doesn't buy both, then it doesn't bump on the stock track, which is a very bad thing for him. MZA is valuable, though, and so he's contemplating. But you know what? If he buys both of these RCPs, it'll actually go up to the value of MZA right now. So he's sticking to his guns, and he's going to pay $200 to RCP. Also, RCP is a private, and remember, the privates, he's banking on making some more cash for him than the government. So that's his turn. So now we go to Wellington, and Wellington is about value. And there's one SFAI out there, and he can buy one more share of something. And unfortunately, the SFAI is the better purchase than MZA. So he's going to pay $250 for that. So we're going to put the $500 in the bank and take $250 back. So he did have to dip into his 500s. But yes, SFAI is the better purchase. He is not going to get an MZA. And that's a little crazy, but if you look at the values up there, SFAI is worth more than MZA right now. And by buying the last share, it's going to get an automatic bump. If he had the capacity to buy another share, he would for sure get an MZA. Okay, so interesting turn of events. He's at his cap. He's one away. Now we go to De Gaulle. De Gaulle, on the other hand, has no loyalties. He was buying BHB because BHB he thinks is going to make him money. De Gaulle still has a lot of shares to buy, so he's going to go to 7 here. So that means he's going to buy this one plus 2 more. So let's look at BHB's situation. There's only one BHB left, okay? And then he has to buy this one plus 2 more. And guess what there happens to be 2 of? MZA. So De Gaulle's going to come in and save him. So De Gaulle is going to pay $225, and he's getting an MZA. And he would get that every day and twice on Sundays. So that was a no-brainer for him. And he's still going to be able to buy this BHB and follow that BHB strategy. So this was a wonderful turn of events. De Gaulle is actually capitalizing on my war with Mr. Medici. So now it gets to us, and we're at the end of our journey. So we're going to pay $360. So that means we have 1,000 left in cash, which is a whole 1,000 less than Medici. I'm going to tell you, $1,000 is a big gap. So Medici does have a huge gap on us. So maybe we're not in as good shape as we thought. But Medici has all government companies. And I really believe we're going to gain on him once we start buying these gray trains. So that's our gamble. Medici's passing. Tchaikovsky gets to buy one more share. And I think we said it was going to be RCP because that was his plan. So he's going to spend $200. And RCP is sold out. Tchaikovsky is sitting on $1,500 in cash. So do not think that Tchaikovsky is losing that badly. He is sitting on $1,500 in cash. That's more than we have. So he had to buy a lot more shares than us, and he was able to do it with less money. Or he had more money and was... Anyways. Now we get to Wellington. He's a pass. So all that's left is Mr. De Gaulle. He's the only one left. So he's just going to take 2 turns in a row and buy an MZA and the BHB. So this priority token is going to go to us. We're going to be first next stock round. And so we're going to grab the MZA, and that is $225, and the BHB is $120. So let's get this in place. So 125 for BHB. And then the MZA we said was 225. So that's 100, 200, 25. So De Gaulle is actually going to sit with $500 cash left over. Now it makes it look like he's rich and he was doing great. But remember, De Gaulle bought the cheapest stock in the game to be able to pull that off. He went and bought BHB. So he is going to get to his numbers. And I just realized I put BHB's money in the bank. So we're just going to grab 120 bucks from the bank over here. And that's another thing you can do is you can put your money in the bank and just yell at the player, hey, grab 120 bucks from the bank. So we'll do that and get the last share of BHB. And we are ready to start the operating round. Now, everybody is at capacity, meaning that we're all at 29 shares. And I'm going to do a real quick double check to make sure that I didn't screw up my numbers or my dice counting. So with that being said, there's no privates left in the game. Now, the rules say, see, like he hasn't used either of his privates. You can still use them. You just don't get to collect the revenue from them anymore. So it's a very generous game. There's other games where you have to use them before they close. You know, some games aren't as kind. This one's very kind. There's only one company in the game that closes the moment you use it, and that's BB&B. These ones, you can still use their powers and abilities even after you close the company. All that closing the company means is you're just no longer gaining revenue for them. So let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. Coming over to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. And we already counted his. We know his is perfect. So let's count ours. We're the last bastion of hope here. The SB, we own all the shares, so that's 9 certificates. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Perfect. Okay, that ends the round. We have shares that are going to go up in value, and I'm telling you already that we're going to hit the cap of 550, and the other ones are going to catch up. So GWR is not going to be as valuable as it originally was. We get automatic bumps. Remember, we do a double stock round at the end of the game, so it's automatically going to go up 2, and then we're going to be doing 2 operating rounds right now. Okay, so it's going to go up 2 more, and because GWR is sold out, guess what? It goes up 1 now. So GWR is going to hit the cap and get stuck there, and the game's not going to end, and Wellington is going to lose the game because of that. If he had the highest value stock and the game ended before we got to the end, he would have done better. So he's actually going to hit that cap and then lose value in his company. So he's going to get hurt. We're going to be helped, but we might get hurt too, because I think we're going to hit the cap and stop, and then I think the stack behind us is actually going to get there. So DSJ, MSP, and Lawnmower are all sold out. MKV, KBS, Chin, and Plum are all sold out. SFR is not sold out, but SFAI is. Okay. MZA is sold out. So what happens is it moves up when it's sold out. And Lizard is sold out, so it's going to move up. RCP is sold out. Bell is not. MAV is not sold out. SB is because of our shenanigans. So SB is moving up. WW is not. And then BHB is sold out, so it's going to move up. So it does finally get off the schneid there. Now it officially ends. There's going to be no pay the weenie phase except for K. K is going to get, we are in the gray phase, by the way, because BHB bought a gray train before the round ended. So they're going to get $60 for the K company. So that's going to go to Bell here. So we're going to start the game. Bell just got paid. And I can tell you the C company is going to go last because he wants the gray track to get put on the board before he goes. And that's the thing, is the gray tracks just got unlocked. And going first means you're going to have to, you get to spend your track points, yes, but you're not going to have enough track points to upgrade everything you want to upgrade. And so your runs are going to be worth less money. And so he wants to go last, but we'll take care of that next round. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.